Namaste. In today's video, I'll talk about the various signs and synchronicities one encounters while they're on their spiritual progression and what these signs and synchronicities mean to that person and how the brain or the mind functioning changes when somebody is experiencing these synchronicities. Further, I'll talk about the effect of love for God or devotion for the Guru or love for the twin flame or the longing to go home for a star seed helps them to ascend the lower three chakras and move into the heart chakra. Earth is a playground where many souls come to play the game of life and evolution. We have many earthbound souls on earth, that is, the souls which have evolved on earth from the level of a mineral next to the plant, next to an animal stage, and later to the human stage. So these souls are the earth souls. The origin of these souls is on earth itself. Majority of the population that you see right now are all earth souls. Apart from these souls, we have the other type of souls which come from other dimensions. They are born from higher dimensions and lower dimensions also. Earth is a place where souls from higher dimensions and lower dimensions can meet. The ones coming from the higher dimension come here for their own evolution and to help Earth in many different ways. When somebody is born on Earth as a human, they take on two extra bodies as attachments. The first one is the pranic sheath or the pranamaya kosha, and the next one is the food sheath or the physical body or the annamaya kosha. These two sheaths are not available for the soul anywhere else in the universe. So, if a soul is living in a higher dimensional universe, say we can call them as divine beings. There is a hierarchy in divine beings, and this hierarchy is not ego based, it is more about how much vibration and how much light a being can hold. Based on that, the being can belong to any one of the different dimensions. But this being cannot evolve further in its own dimension. To evolve further, it has to be born on earth because the ultimate test of one's spiritual strength happens on earth. And when the soul is born on earth, it takes on these two additional attachments of the pranamaya kosha and the annamaya kosha. The pranamaya kosha is where the Kundalini resides, and Kundalini is the evolutionary energy. Kundalini helps one to transcend lower states of vibration very quickly and move into higher states of vibration or higher dimensions. So, when a soul from a higher dimension is born on earth, they come here for their own evolution so that they can move ahead in the spiritual path. And while doing this, they contribute in one way or the other for the humanity that is there on earth so they too can evolve faster. Then we have the lower dimensional beings that are born on earth. They too are born on earth. They have their own agenda for being born on earth. And apart from that, they know that they can also ascend faster because they have the pranamaya kosha or the pranic sheath in which there is kundalini. And if they can somehow make the kundalini to rise, they can quickly ascend to higher dimensions. But many of these lower dimensional beings that are born on earth do not have the spiritual strength to remain on the right path. Instead, they go into the wrong ways. They help the dark side of the universe. Therefore, generally, when these lower souls are born on earth, many of them do not move into the spiritual path. Rather, they get cut away from the light of God. Even in humans, we have the old souls and the new souls. The old souls are those souls who have had the experience of many human lifetimes on earth, and they have a well developed nervous system because of the experience that they've gained on earth, and they're spiritually ready to take the leap towards a higher state of vibration. The newer souls are experiencing the first few incarnations as a human being. That is, they have evolved from the animal state to a human state, and they have still not developed the qualities and attributes of a good human being. Rather, they still have the burden of the animal traits or the animal attributes, like being territorial, being very aggressive unnecessarily, fighting over food and fighting for a mate. These are all typical animal behaviors. Though they have taken up a human life in a human body, they still carry these memories within their body, and they still tend to experience those states even in the human body, and they have many more lifetimes to learn higher qualities of a human being like compassion, kindness, love, all these things, selfless service, devotion, all these things come much later to that person when they experience many human lifetimes on earth. We experience unfolding of many events on a daily basis. General tendency of the human population is to see each event as a separate unit, disconnected from the remaining units. It is only when we start progressing on the spiritual path that we understand to connect different units of experiences or different events together. And all these three or four different experiences or events, they are pointed to a single fact that is experienced by the person. And this is from the point of view of the person. Only that person can understand what is being experienced by him and what the events that are unfolding in his life mean to him. He can connect the various dots, and then he can create a bigger picture from these various events. Then these events are called as synchronicities. Synchronicities are a common thing, and they're experienced by people who are on the spiritual path, especially the starseeds, the old souls, and the twin flames, and those who are very inclined towards spiritual development. These events, they happen for a reason. They are an indicator or a signpost to a person that he is now on the spiritual path. It is only once the person is about to transcend from the lower three chakras, that is the Muladhara chakra, the Swadhisthana chakra, and the Manipura chakra. When the person is able to transcend and go beyond these three chakras to a higher state, that is when he starts experiencing these synchronicities in his life. For a person who is caught up in the lower three chakras, he will not experience synchronicities in his life. And even those souls which are born from the lower astral planes on earth as a human, and if they are not evolving on the spiritual path, they too will not experience synchronicities. Some examples for synchronicities is when you are thinking of a person, the person calls you, or when you are wondering whether you've taken the right decision regarding some event or some matter, and you don't know, you need some kind of a feedback. That is when you hear from the television set a person saying that you have taken the right decision. So these synchronicities are a way of nature telling us that we are on the right path. It helps to guide us so that we don't digress away from the right path. If you are experiencing synchronicities in your life, then you understand that there is a higher consciousness that or a higher power that is helping you to connect various dots in your life so that you can evolve using these dots as a road map. Further, you understand that your inner reality is connected to the outer reality. And life has many layers to it. Life is not just what you see on the external. It goes beyond that. There are many wheels which a normal person cannot see through. And those wheels are falling away for you one by one so that you can connect to the higher states of consciousness. Everything in this universe is connected. We are connected to every plant, every animal, every planet, every other human being. We are connected like how a computer is connected to the internet, and through the internet it is connected to the other computers which are there across the world. In the same way, we too are connected to the entire universe, the entire creation. And the creation sends us many signs and images once it has understood that you are putting in enough effort to evolve. And these images or signposts help you to transcend duality, and they help you to understand that there's something beyond what you experience in life so that you can progress further on that path for your own spiritual evolution. Many see numbers to start with, especially 11, 11, 10, 10. Earlier days, it was not a digital world, so people would generally see signs and synchronicities, which included many animals, many nature events. For example, when a wolf would howl, it meant that something bad would happen. And when they would meet a good person, then it meant that something good would happen. But now we live in a digital world. We are bombarded with numbers, and it is natural to notice many numbers. And especially somebody on the spiritual path, they will see many numbers which are triple numbers, like 444, 555, 666. These are of common occurrences. Synchronicities can happen in many different ways, but this all starts when you stop conforming to the social norms. You stop living your life the way your parents or your grandparents lived. Rather, you start questioning their ways. You start questioning your very existence. You start questioning the validity of your external world. And you start noticing that you are different from others. You're an anomaly now. You cannot fit in with your family or with your friends because your vibrational frequency is different from theirs. Your goals in life are different right now. The lower egoic attractions, they are no longer appealing to you. You want to cut away from a lot of that unnecessary drama that is there in everybody else's life, because you know that will pull you down into a lower egoic state. When you reach this level of thinking, you start experiencing synchronicities. They come in the form of numbers. This starts off with 11, 11 or 10, 10 generally. Then there are many symbols which you can see in your meditative states, which are mystical symbols. You will even see other dimensional beings. Sometimes the lower dimensional beings like ghosts or disincarnate entities, or sometimes you can even meet higher dimensional beings like saints who are there in flesh in this world, or who have moved on to other world but are still there to guide those who are interested in spiritual evolution. You can meet gurus who are in physical body. Now, because your mind is more open, you're open to the universal messages. You have your intuition working very well. Dream state can be very, very exciting. It can feel very real. And premonitions are very normal when somebody is evolving spiritually. You can meet higher vibrational people unexpectedly, and this can change your life. You will find the right book or you will be in the right place at the right time. Different types of opportunities open up for you which were not available to you or which were not aware of earlier. Creativity starts flowing. You can write poetry, you start painting, you want to write a book, or you know how to talk better. Suddenly, there's this energy burst to do many different things. All these start happening when somebody is experiencing synchronicities. Most people on earth, more than 99% of people, they live their life conforming to social norms. They live their life just to eat food, get a job, get married, have kids, buy that house, buy that car. They can't think beyond that. They're in constant competition with others and they feel needy for a lot of things. They don't question life, they accept things as they are and they're totally involved in life. They are not trying to question their insecurities. They have a lot of control issues. There's a lot of drama happening in their life. They're hooked on to the television set, they're interested in politics, they have their own opinions on various things. And all these things keep the drama of life going on, and the person is stuck in the lower three chakras. When a person is living life from this point, he is disconnected from the higher power. And for this person, he experiences the time as moving as a straight line, that is, from the past to the future. This person cannot see what will happen in the future because he cannot see the future. The future, he knows his past because he's already experienced the past. But the future is not coming to his experience. So he has no idea where life will take him. He is in the dark here. He plans for his future, but he has no idea where future will take him. And moreover, this type of a person thinks that because he is taken an action, he expects a certain kind of result to come out of that action. And he thinks that result alone will happen because of his action. He cannot understand that one action can lead to 5 or 6 different results. And those 5 or 6 different results can lead to further consequences. And these 5 or 6 results again have the percentage of how much can happen more and how much can happen less. So person cannot think to that extent. He just thinks that I've taken an action and the action result in a particular result. And when that result does not happen, he is surprised. This person lacks the wisdom to understand that everything is not within his control and there are many factors which are beyond his control that influence life and where life will take him in the future. He is even disconnected from the higher power, so he does not experience any synchronicities. And when we talk about synchronicities to this person, he will just laugh it off. But once somebody is moving up the spiritual ladder, they are guided by their, you can call them their spiritual guides or the spiritual beings or a higher power that is guiding their life now. And the various signs and synchronicities one experiences, it is the universe telling the person that he is on the right path. And this person has the wisdom to connect the various dots in his life and to speculate as to how and what the future holds for him. And he even understands that a lot of things are there beyond his control that affect his life. And the only way to control the outer reality is by controlling the inner reality. When the inner reality is focused properly on the spiritual path, slowly the outer reality also starts moving in sync with the inner reality of the person. So this person starts experiencing time differently. The earlier person, the person who was not mature enough, saw time linear, that is moving from past to future. But now this person, he experiences the time differently. Say for example, this is the present and this is the future. So normally we move from the present to the future. But now for this person, say he is in the present time, he has a dream, a premonition of a future event which was supposed to happen here. If time was linear, he cannot see this event happening here. But he saw this event happening in the present time, a future event happening in the present time, in a dream state. That can only be possible when this future comes in contact with the present, like this. Now, the future is in contact with the present. Another example. Say a person, through his intuition, he got messages about his past lifetimes. Say this is his present time. And say this is his past, that is not his past in this lifetime. Rather, I'm talking about his past lifetimes. Say this is one of his past lifetime here. So when he gets this intuition and understanding that he had a past lifetime on earth, what is happening is the past is coming in contact with the present. So here you can see that the time has folded. So this person will experience time differently. Time is no longer linear for this person. You can look at the time loop here. It is spiral in nature. For example, let's say that 10, there's one 10, the topmost 10 represents the future. The 10 in the middle, it represents the present situation. And the 10 which is much inside the time loop is his past. So the past is getting connected with the present and the future is also connected to the present. Only thing is he lacks the power to see. A normal person cannot see this. But once you are in the spiritual path ascending, you will experience the past in the present moment. You will even experience the future events that will unfold much later in time in your present state. So he can see his past and he can see his future events too. So time is experienced differently by this person. We are further told that the universe is binary in nature, that it is built of zeros and ones. And apart from the binary nature, scientists even say that the universe is built on numbers. And that is why maybe when we are starting with the synchronicities, we see numbers. We see many different numbers, but initially you will start seeing 11, 11 and 10, 10. You can see 11, 11, something like this, or 10, 10. That is because the universe is built on these binary numbers 0, 1. So it will start with this. When you see 11, 11 like this, it simply means that you have one of your leg on in your present moment and you have one leg in your future moments. So that simply means you will move between your past to present and present to future and again back to present. Now you can move back and forth in time. That is the meaning of all different numbers which you see, 777, 888, 999. Now, many of them assign different meanings to these numbers. Generally, what happens is when you see a number, and then when you start noticing something happening unusual that day, we assign that meaning to that number. For example, when I saw triple sevens, Initially, I could not make any sense of it, but then I realized that my vibration frequency was shooting up that day. And that meant that I would develop mild fever and cold by that night because of my natural reaction of the body for the increased vibrational frequency. Whenever I saw 777, it simply meant that my vibration frequency would shoot up that day. I would say 999 also, 888. For every of these numbers, I had different meanings assigned to them based on my experiences. So my experiences may be different from your experiences. Everybody has their own meaning for these numbers. The numbers which I saw earlier were 1111, 1010. Then I went on to seeing 0123 very often, 777, 555, 888, 999. These were numbers which are very commonly seen by me. When somebody is caught up in the lower three chakras, they will see time in a linear manner. But once you're transcending that, time will give you different experiences. So you no longer live in a linear time frame. We all are aware that we have the right brain and the left brain. The right and left brain, they have neural connections, not that they are totally disconnected from each other in a normal person. They work together, otherwise, a normal person cannot function in the external reality. But when the pranic energy starts moving up the spine, especially through Ida Pingala, and it enters the central spinal cord, the Sushumna Nadi, and it starts moving into the brain starts rewiring. And when it starts rewiring, it forms extra nervous connections between the right side and the left side of the brains. That is why this person has a greater capacity for intelligence, for skill, for abilities than he had earlier in his life. The left brain is, it controls our logic, language, mathematics, sequences, many other things like patterns, short-term memory, all these things, planning and organizing come on the left side, which is the masculine side of the brain, because the Pingala Nadi, which is on the right side of the body, it starts at the Muladhara and it ends in your right nostril, but it connects to the left brain. So the masculine abilities are on the left side of the brain. And the Ida Nadi, which is the feminine Nadi, it starts on the left side of the Muladhara or the spine and it ends in the left nostril and it is connected to the right side of the brain. So your right side of the brain has more of the feminine traits. The right side is more about creativity. It's about symbols, long-term memory. Your memory about many, many lifetimes is there in the right side. Living life spontaneously. There is no sense of time here. Then tones, images, mystical symbols, and even connection to God. An ability to experience higher state of emotions like devotion, gratitude, love. All these come from your right side. And now because the left and the right side are getting connected, the fusion happens between the right and left. The person starts developing more abilities. For example, pictures on the right side, when they link up with the language on the left side, you have poetry. Symbols on the right side, when they are able to link up with the logic which is there on the left side, you can understand the various mystical symbols that you see in your dream states, or at least you can assign some meaning to it. For example, say you're seeing 1111. The understanding that synchronicity is happening in your life, it comes from your right side. And the meaning you assign to that number comes from the logic that is there in the left side. That is, you are assigning that meaning to that number. Whatever meaning you assign to that number will represent that meaning for you. Next, the right side can see the total picture. The left side can plan and decide on what to do and organize, but it cannot see the whole picture. Whereas the right side can see the whole picture. Something like this. Say, for example, you're standing in the lane and you have no idea of the terrain there. You don't know which way to go, you don't know which path leads where for you. This is what happens for somebody who's stuck on the left side of the brain. But for somebody who's on the right side, they have a bird's eye view of the entire location. That is because the right side has the wisdom to see the total picture or the total scenario. So when the right and the left work together, the person is able to see the total picture, and he is even able to work with or logically with the information that the total picture has provided him. The emotions come from your right side, but the language to express these beautiful emotions, they come from your left side. For example, if you have to express kindness or love for somebody, when these two brains work together, you're very good at genuinely expressing love and higher states of emotions or sharing those emotions or moments with people around you. When there's spontaneity and when there's pattern, you have art. Spontaneity comes from your right side and the pattern comes from your left side. The sense of being a free soul or freedom comes from your right side, and the logic comes from your left side. When you combine this, you have a person who can think out of the box. He is very creative in nature. The sense of knowing and the sense of time, which comes from your left side. Together, you can foresee events. Generally, for somebody who's more predominantly on the left side, they think. It's all about thinking. But when somebody is operating from the right side, it is about knowing and feeling more than thinking. So it is more about intuition, being in the moment, and information flowing through you rather than you searching for the information. And this even gives you the wisdom to detach from what is happening around you to experience this. Long term memory has its seat in the right side, and the language is in the left side. When you combine these two, simply means you are a person with high self awareness. Tones are there on the right side, and the sequence is there on the left side. When you mix these two, you have beautiful music. When the right and the left side brain starts functioning at its highest state, the person can become a creative genius. He becomes more self aware. He becomes a more empathetic person. He is able to express and even experience higher state of emotions like bliss, joy, gratitude, love, devotion, surrender to God. The wisdom of the entire universe is available to this person. And he even creates a connection to the higher divine energy. This can mean a lot of things to the person. As a child, we have open energetic fields because we are not aware of the dangers that are there in the external world. But once we have these bad experiences, we close down, we contract as a person. But once our brain centers are working 100%, we again start opening up to the external world like a child. This comes from a higher understanding that everything that happens in your life, whether it is good or bad, the seeds for that come from within you. If you do not have those seeds, karmic seeds within you, then the event will not unfold in your life. When you understand this, you open up as a person to the external reality. You no longer fear anything because whatever has to happen to you, it will happen to you whether you are out in the open or whether you hide inside the house. So now you are opened up as a person and you exude this beautiful energy, fearless energy, which has a magical effect around people that are there in your life. You become a more spontaneous, open person. A lot of paranormal activity can be experienced by this person. He or she can be a psychic, a genius, a saint, a philosopher. Then they can experience very high states of devotion and bliss, physical bliss too. There are many approaches for transcending the lower egoic chakras, that is the Muladhara, Swadhisthana, and Manipura chakra, and coming up to the heart area, that is the Anahata chakra. But I'm discussing four ways for different kinds of the souls that are there that will help them transcend the lower egoic qualities which are there within them. First is devotion to God. This is open to everybody. When somebody feels connection with a particular form of God, they can spend their time, majority of the time, praying to the God, chanting the mantra, invoking the God in their prayers, or keeping the image of that God in front of their vision, or imagining the image of God constantly within their head. They are focusing their entire energy on their Ishtadevata. Ishtadevata is the God with whom you can feel a lot of love and connection to. This has an effect on the Anahata chakra. So, whatever prayers you're doing to God, you're just opening your Anahata chakra. Next is surrendering to Guru. In India, from ages, we have this tradition of Guru Sishya, that is the teacher and the disciple. When one surrenders to the spiritual Guru or master wholeheartedly, and one just focuses on the feet of the master, nothing but the feet of the master, that person is able to transcend the lower egoic states. That is because within the master, the real master, I'm not talking about all those fake gurus, I'm talking about the real guru who has already undergone his spiritual awakening. That guru, within him, you have the Paramashiva, or the God is present within the guru latently. So when one surrenders themselves to the feet of the guru and serve the Guru, they're automatically transcending the lower three chakras and moving into the heart chakra. Then we have the star seeds. These are the beings that have come from other dimensions. They're born into human families, and because of the earth's Maya, they forget their source and they think that they're like other normal human beings. When they start growing up, they somehow realize that they're different from others around them. And these people, they feel a lot of pain inside of them because they are detached from their source, and they feel like a pariah on the earth plane, and this need to go back home, it creates a sense of detachment within them, and this detachment helps them to move beyond the three chakras and move into the Anahata chakra. Next is the twin flame love connection. Twin flames are couple and they're very highly enlightened souls. Part of their mission on earth is to heal themselves and come together as a twin flame couple. When they're doing this, they're even helping the earth. And in between them, they have a very divine connection. The love they experience is of divine quality. And that is why this connection helps the person to transcend the lower egoic nature. Here are the examples of few saints who have attained the liberation from life and death because of their constant and focused devotion for God. The first picture is of Mirabai. She was a queen. She gave up everything and she just roamed in Rajasthan, singing and dancing in the name of Krishna. The second saint is Tukaram Maharaj. He sang out of love for Vithala. Vithala is also Krishna. And the last saint you see is Sant Kabir. He, only thing Sant Kabir did in his entire life was chanting the name of Rama. Krishna and Rama are the two avatars of Lord Vishnu. So Sant Kabir, Mirabai, and Tukaram just spent their entire life singing in praise of God and tuned into the divine energy of Lord Vishnu by chanting his name, by singing in devotion for him, and they attained moksha by doing this. Here you can see the Guru Sishya lineage that there runs. The relationship between Guru and Sishya is the most beautiful relationship on earth because the love between a Guru and Sishya is unconditional love. The first picture is of the famous Guru and Sishya, that is Ramakrishna Paramahamsa and Vivekananda. Everybody is aware of the love they both had for each other. The Sishya sees the Guru as the embodiment of the divine, and he focuses at the feet of the Guru. And the knowledge and the nectar and bliss of God flows from the feet of the Guru to the Sishya. He becomes a conduit for divine energy for the Sishya. And the Sishya represents the Guru's own spiritual journey. He can see his own spiritual journey in the disciple. And when he's lifting up the disciple, he's lifting himself up further. This is the most beautiful relationship on earth where two people are benefiting from their association with each other. And the love between them is unconditional. Then star seeds. Star seeds are these souls which have come onto earth, born in normal human families, and they can understand after some time that they are not of human origin. This brings about a lot of change in them. They feel detached from everything that is there on earth. They have no interest in pursuing power or money. And their only aim in life is to transcend from the lower egoic nature and move into a higher state of self realization because they are born for that. They're born on earth for their spiritual evolution. And while they're evolving, they contribute to the earth positively in some way or the other. Star seeds can come from many different dimensions. And once the Kundalini gets activated, they have this inner understanding as to which dimension they have arrived from. They generally are free souls. They don't get stuck in within the framework of the social norms that they're born in. They actually negate all social norms because they are free souls. They don't like to be bound by restrictions and conditions. They feel stifled or they feel suffocated within these kind of social structures. They move away from the third dimensional ideas and belief systems. They have this inherent need to change the bad things that happen in society. When these star seeds come from dimensions which are higher in technology or maybe some kind of systems or arts or knowledge or skill, they have these all this information in their genetic codes. And once they understand that they're from other dimension, these genetic codes which are there within them start getting activated. And they have access to all those technologies or those knowledge or skills that were part of the system before they were born on earth. They help to disseminate this information on the higher knowledge, higher skills, higher technology to others on earth. They can become scientists, they can become artists, they can become psychics, they become saints, philosophers, writers, orators. They can bring in a lot of mystical knowledge, which generally is not available for normal earth people. They can be they can model beautiful relationships on earth. These people like to spread love and light. Many of them help raise the vibration of earth. Everybody has their own mission in life. And once they have a Kundalini awakening, they understand their mission on life. Many of them here, they help the earth to regenerate and repair itself by transferring. They work like an antenna where they pull in all the energy of the cosmic energy, and their body works like a conduit, and they send that energy into earth so that earth can repair itself. Many of them work selflessly for the upliftment of the society. There are few souls who are born in families. These families have ancestors who have indulged in a lot of wrongful activities. Say there was a king who undertook a lot of wars, and lakhs of people died because of his invasions. This royal family now has the curse of all those families who were affected by the war. When family bloodlines have curses for various reasons, the genetic material in that family line gets damaged. The DNA gets damaged. It gets broken further. And the more the DNA gets damaged, the generation of children born later in that family can be sociopaths, they can be narcissists or psychopaths, or they can be borderline lunatic people also. And such people do more harm to the society. A star seed is born in this family, and that star seed takes on the curses of the family onto himself, and he clears away the karmic baggage for the entire family. He repairs the DNA so that in the future generations, the curses don't get transferred to the future generations, and enlightened beings are born in their family. Enlightened beings can only be born in a family when the DNA structure of the family is in good shape. If the DNA is broken and has a lot of junk DNA, the more the junk DNA, the lower the vibrational quality of the person that is born as progeny in that family. Some starseeds are born on earth because they want to increase the light quotient on earth. As I've said earlier, many lower worldly beings are also born on earth. And when these beings are born on earth, mostly they have an impact on earth in a negative way. They increase the darkness and negativity on earth. To counterbalance that, light beings are born on earth to help earth and to keep that light on earth so that humanity can evolve further in its spiritual journey. And not just humanity, even the earth needs these star seeds to repair itself and to protect itself from the dark forces. The fourth type are the twin flames. You have a divine feminine and divine masculine. The divine feminine and divine masculine, when they're born on earth, they are not aware that they're twin flames. But slowly, once they are ascending, their memory returns to them. They feel like part of them is lost. And these people have a lot of innate capacity to give unconditional love to their partner. They need to heal themselves first before they can activate their relationship with their partner at a higher level. They're very old souls, and both of them have their Kundalini activated. Generally, they see each other in their dreams, and the very sight of the twin flame or the voice of the twin flame can activate the heart chakra of the other twin flame. And the way they recognize this person is it's more at a soul level. Generally, people fall in love because they like the appearance of a person, or because that person has money, or maybe we have common interests. For a lot of reasons, people fall in love. But this is not like that. Here, the person recognizes this other person. They know, I know this person from eons, from the beginning of the universe. I know this person. They generally have the same vibrational frequency, and their combined vibrational frequency is of very high level. Because of that, they can raise the vibrational energy on earth. Most of their meetings or their coming together, it is arranged by a higher power. They meet by chance, and their love for each other is unconditional. They both come together and they grow together spiritually. They ascend together. They even have a common purpose. And the common purpose is generally about uplifting the consciousness of earth. They too will have all those signs and synchronicities which are normal on a spiritual path. Apart from that, they can have common dreams, common symbols, telepathic connection, and a higher understanding that they belong to each other. The twin flame relationships, they transcend the lower three chakras, because the each counterpart in the twin flame relationship, they become a channel of divine love for their partner. So when they're focusing on their partner, they're focusing on the divine love that comes through their partner to them. Because of this, they can transcend the lower three chakras and they can become more heart based people. The examples for the twin flame relationship in Hinduism is the first couple, that is the Ardhanarishwara, Shiva and Shakti, half Shiva, half Shakti. Shakti here represents the divine feminine energy, and Shiva represents the divine masculine energy. So all twin flames are like the Ardhanarishwara, part Shiva and part Shakti when they come together. And together, their combined vibrational energy, the electromagnetic field, is much higher than their individual separate electromagnetic field. Another example can be of Krishna and Radha. Krishna loved Radha unconditionally, and Radha loved Krishna unconditionally. They had no conditions for their love. They did not fall in love for their appearances or money. They went against all social norms. They valued their love for each other so much that even this day, when we speak about lovers who are very pure at heart and just love for the sake of loving, we call them as Radha and Krishna. The signs and synchronicities you see during your spiritual path help you to guide you on the path. And you will see these mostly during the Kundalini rising phase. But once the Kundalini that has risen pierces through the fontanel area here, that is the Brahmarandra, later on too you will see these numbers, but then your relationship with these numbers changes, in the sense that you do not give much importance to those numbers. You understand that they exist, but you're no longer assigning any meaning to those numbers. You're just witnessing those numbers. So you get matured at how you look at these numbers and synchronicities in life. The various heart based relationships help a person in evolving from the lower state to a higher state, that is the heart state. The heart is a junction between the upper states and the lower states. When we reach the heart state and we understand the meaning of love, soaking ourselves with love and giving love to others, that further accelerates our spiritual evolution. Thank you.